Hi there, and we finally got Silverwolf as playable character in Honkai Star Rail, and of course it's really important to precisely understand how her abilities, especially skill, works, because it's worded really strangely, and even questions like can she apply her element appear, because in the skill it's worded that she can apply only the element of her ally, and it's a question if we can call Silverwolf an ally of herself, but of course yes, she can apply her element. If you use only her as single character team, she will only apply quantum, and if you use 2 characters or 3 characters, she can apply quantum if she's the only quantum character on the battlefield. But a bit more interesting is what are the chances to apply a certain element if we, for example, have 3 characters of this element in the team and some other element character. And here were some theories that we, in theory, can just increase this chance to 75% because we are picking the character and then just getting his element on the ally, or on the enemy, I meant, sorry. Or maybe it's a different thing where just the game checks what elements we have in the team and then just sums them up and selects one randomly. And to somehow test this, of course, I can say that my calculations are completely relevant and objective, because to actually know the chances we have to do like 1000 testings maybe. But I've made 100 runs with a 3+1 team where I was using 3 quantum characters and 1 fire character to actually understand how much times did I apply a quantum weakness on the enemy. And here you currently, like on the background, you see the time lapse if you're interested, but here you see the chart where exactly from the start we see how quantum element is applied a bit more times than the other, because the thing you see is like the sum of times I applied the quantum weakness divided by the amount of attempts. But eventually, closer to 100 runs, you see how it normalizes at 50%, so we, at least according to this chart, can say that the chance is 50-50 if you're using 2 elements, no matter if those are 2 characters of one element and 2 characters of other element, or if it's 3 characters, for example, of quantum and 1 character of fire. Again, it might slightly change if we make, for example, 100 more runs or maybe 1000 runs total, because you can see how, for example, from like roughly 14th attempt to maybe 43rd, we have like slightly 70 to 60 chance. Again, it's really hard to analyze now, but according to my 100 attempts, we see that it normalizes at 50%. So our first conclusion, it really just picks the elements of your allies and then just chooses randomly out of those elements. Then I also checked it another time with 50 attempts with a bit different team, because first time we had 3 quantum characters and Silverwolf was one of them, and only 1 fire character. Then I checked what will happen if we take 3 lightning characters and 1 quantum character. Maybe something will change, maybe Silverwolf can't apply her element when she has, for example, more than 2 allies, or maybe the opposite, she has higher chance to apply her element than other elements. But after that, I actually made 50 attempts and there was exactly 50-50. 25 attempts I applied quantum weakness and 25 times I applied lightning weakness. So at this point, I think it's almost safe to say that we really have a 50-50% chance. So if you're using 2 elements, you just actually toss in a coin. And if you have 3 elements, but for example, you have 2 quantum characters, 1 imaginary character and 1 physical, then you have a 33% chance. Most likely, this exactly I didn't check, but which is really important too. I did few runs, exactly 10 runs with team with except 1 character of quantum, Silverwolf herself, matched the weaknesses of this exact enemy. So I had imaginary character, I had wind character, and I had physical character. And all those elements already were applied as weaknesses to the enemy by default. And all 10 times I just applied a quantum weakness, which is really important because previously we couldn't say for sure if, for example, Silverwolf can ruin her skill by just applying the element which by default enemy already has. Or maybe this is the opposite and we can guarantee ourselves to apply this exact element. Why this is important? Because, for example, if you want to use Sealy against every enemy, then you can put Silverwolf, Sealy in the team, and then just find out the supportive characters which match the enemy's weaknesses. For example, if you have enemy which is weak to lightning, and let's say, for example, imaginary, you can just put Tinyun and Locha in the team, and you guarantee to apply additional quantum weaknesses to this enemy. Or maybe like we have, for example, wind weakness and physical weakness, which means we can use Bronya and Natasha. So this is really important. So at this point, as conclusion, we can say that if we are talking about casual activities, of course, obviously, the best way to use Silverwolf is in just mono quantum team. This is the only mono team you can use her in, because she by herself is quantum. But if we are talking about like more variable teams, then for casual, just regular activities, maybe it's better to use 50-50 teams. So you can break the weakness which you didn't want to apply. For example, you can use 2 fire characters which are really good at breaking, but they are not the DPS characters, and for example, again, Sealy with Silverwolf, or maybe Chinchi with Silverwolf. About 3+1 team, again, the main idea of this team that if you, for example, want to min-max with this team and get through Memory of Chaos with this team, it's not that big problem to actually force Silverwolf to apply the weaknesses you want. So you just enter the battle, you use Silverwolf's skill, and if you see that you applied the weakness which only one of your characters has as an element, you just exit the stage and restart it, and you even can during the battle do this. Of course, it will be really time consuming, but if you're talking about min-maxing, of course it's much better to always apply the weakness of your main DPS character and have 3 characters of this same element. But to my opinion, the most efficient way how you can use Silverwolf is to control your supportive characters. Again, currently it's really hard to do this because we don't have enough healing characters. We only have a few preservation characters, and 2 of those are freeze or ice. So it's really hard to do this now, but in future, when for example we have the abundance character for almost every element, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-star or 4-star, if you have a harmony character for almost every element, it would be much easier, and you literally can just use Sealy for every activity, because you put again Sealy as main DPS character, you put for example Silverwolf as your sub DPS or debuffing character. Then if you really need survivability, you can put a preservation and abundance character which already meets the enemy's elemental weakness, or you, if you can play a bit more aggressive, can put for example a harmony character of matching element and abundance or shielding or preservation character. So this is it. Again, I'm not saying that these all calculations are 100% objective and you can trust them, but this is what I got after 160 runs. Again, 100 runs with 3 quantum characters plus fire character, 50 runs with 3 lightning characters and quantum characters, and just 10 runs with just a team which matches the enemy weakness plus Silverwolf herself, so we can check if she always applies quantum, and yes, she does. That's actually it. Maybe you have some different calculations, maybe you just experience Silverwolf a bit differently, maybe you have exactly 75% chance after making, for example, like 200 or 300 runs. So share that in the comment section. Thanks for your kind attention and see you soon.